What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dustin Poirier talks about Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. After Ilia Topuria vacated his belt, there's been talks of him fighting Islam Makhachev next. However, Islam's manager doesn't agree with the fight, saying Ilia Topuria needs to prove himself in the division first. Islam's coach said that they will never reject the fight that is offered to them. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. So it's up in the air if they'll accept the fight or not, since Islam has many options in the division. Dustin Poirier weighed in and said Ilia Topuria deserves a fight with Islam Makhachev right away. He said this during an MMA fighting interview. Vacating the title and moving up, finishing Max Holloway the way that he did. I would give him a crack at the lightweight title right off the bat. What do you guys think? Should Ilia Topuria be allowed to fight for the title right away? As for Dustin Poirier's retirement fight, he told MMA Fighting his last fight will be the main event in July or August in New Orleans. Dana White reveals the truth on double champs in the UFC. Following recent comments Diego Lopez made about Ilia Topuria vacating the featherweight title, all signs pointed to the days of champs in the UFC coming to an end. But following UFC Seattle, Dana White left the door open to the possibility of another fighter holding belts in more than one division. After it was announced that Topuria is moving up to lightweight, Lopez said in an interview that the UFC had informed champions that if they want to change divisions, they will need to vacate the belt. The comments didn't exactly come across as a huge shocker, given that there was a time when the UFC wasn't really on board with the champs idea. But when Dana White was asked to comment on the situation following Saturday's card, he said that there could be conditions where champions will be allowed to pursue another belt. Unless you think you can defend your title, if there's a guy who thinks he can do it and wants to defend both belts and has accomplished all these great things, I would have no problem with it. But you're going to be busy. Unless you've really wiped out a division like John Jones, who was in light heavyweight forever and then moved up to heavyweight, Ilia, I get it. It makes sense. Like I said, who he's beat and how he beat them, and now he's tired of making weight and wants to move up to 155, totally makes sense. But no, I'm definitely not against it. Weili Zhang, they just asked me. She's accomplished just about everything you can accomplish in her weight division, and I don't have a problem with it. The philosophy has not changed. It's just on a case-by-case basis. So really, it does sound like nothing has changed, which seems odd, given the comments that Lopez made. Could it be someone else in the UFC misspoke to the fighters, or misunderstood something that Dana White said? Ultimately, this is good for a lot of fans, as there's always seemed to be interest in seeing fighters pursue champ status. But what do you think? Are you happy it's still a possibility? Or do you believe that having a fighter hold more than one belt just leads to them holding up the whole division? Dricus du Plessis roasts Brendan Allen for loss. Brendan Allen took a jab at the resume of Dricus du Plessis not long ago. Not surprisingly, the middleweight champion fired back following UFC Seattle. Allen took on surging middleweight Anthony Hernandez on Saturday's co-headliner and lost the entertaining scrap via unanimous decision. Ahead of the event, Allen had been asked about DDP. The contender noted that although the champion has notable wins on his resume, Allen argued DDP's biggest victories have taken place when his opponents are no longer at their best. Well, following Saturday's card, Allen posted the following statement. Just ain't the guy I thought I was. Hats off to I Love Banff. Love the guy through the this sport brings. Who knows what's next? Thanks to my team and those who stuck with me. That prompted du Plessis to respond with this stinging comment. I don't know what's next either, but I can almost certainly tell what ain't next for a very long time. To which Allen responded with this. Always talk when I drop a decision. When I'm winning, you silent. We can't all get the guys on the way out. DDP then responded with, Fluffy just got a guy on his way out too. Damn, we lucky. Brendan Allen fired back with, maybe, but no matter what, you aren't him and you can't do it. We will revisit the topic after Imavov beats you up. So there are a couple of things to look at here. First off, there's no doubt that Saturday's loss was a significant setback for Allen in terms of his title shot hunt. He was coming off a loss to Nasruddin Imavov, and so he'll need to put together another string of wins before his name is back in title contention. It should be noted, however, that Allen is only 29 years old, and it wasn't that long ago that he was riding a 7-fight winning streak. So writing Allen off as a contender at this point would be premature. That aside, do you agree with Allen's take on DDP's resume? Has he faced the likes of Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, and Robert Whittaker at opportune post-prime junctures? Is this an argument that you can make? Although it's not like any of these fighters are way past their primes. Former fighters not claiming UFC settlement. Steps are being taken to distribute cash to fighters as part of the settlement that was reached for the UFC antitrust lawsuit, but as it stands right now, it looks like stars like Brock Lesnar, Anderson Silva, and Ronda Rousey may not be taking any cash. In October, it was announced that a $375 million settlement had been reached for the suit, which will compensate around 1,000 fighters who fought in the UFC between 2010 and 2017. More recently, veteran MMA journalist Josh Gross posted that a lot of fighters still have not provided their contact information to set up the payments. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up not making a claim. If Brock Lesnar, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, and Anderson Silva, some of the biggest box office draws of that period, failed to provide contact information and collect, a ton of extra cash will fall to anyone who did. But then, Gross also followed up with this gif and the following comment. FYI, I'm told McGregor has provided this info. His attorney said he supported the settlement, so that makes sense. McGregor, meanwhile, reacted with this. McGregor's status on this aside, Gross's report prompted lawyer and combat sports writer Eric McGracken to respond with this. Why UFC fighters not claiming their class action money is the dumbest move. If you're somehow against the lawsuit and are not claiming your money as a form of protest, you're giving your share to those that are claiming. If you think they don't deserve it, why give them yours? Claim your money. If you feel you don't deserve it, give it to a friend in need, a family member, a charity. Hell, you can even give it back to the UFC if you want, but if you don't claim it, you give your money to those that do. Do you want your former opponents to get your money? And if you think the UFC will somehow be mad at you for claiming your money, they won't be. Their lawyers literally confirmed in open court that they want you to claim your money. It'll be interesting to see where things go from here and whether the likes of Rousey or Lesnar claim their cash. But do you agree that all of the eligible fighters should take the settlement, even if they're not hard up for cash? Up next, Petr Yan reveals UFC return. Petr Yan recently called on the UFC to book him a fight for early summer, but it's looking like the former champion won't be running things back with Merab Dvalishvili or Sean O'Malley. Well, not yet anyways. In 2024, Yan demonstrated that he very much remains a threat in the bantamweight division by recording victories over Song Yadong and Davison Figueiredo. Following his win over Figueiredo, Yan made it clear he wants to face Merab again, and the champion expressed interest in a rematch. Dvalishvili defeated Yan by unanimous decision in March of 2023. Further, since Yan narrowly lost a split decision to O'Malley in October 2022, a lot of fans have also called for that rematch. Well, more recently, Petr Yan posted the following comment via social media. Who misses me? May or June? I'm ready to go. Of course, that prompted discussions online regarding who the former champion could face next. But following UFC Seattle, Dana White was asked about a rematch between Merab and Sugar. It certainly sounded like the UFC is moving in that direction. They want to fight each other, and I think people want to see it. So given that O'Malley has created a sizable fan base, it's not too surprising to see that the UFC is interested in having him face Dvalishvili next. Further, Merab has already defeated other top contenders like Umar Nurmagomedov, and Corey Sandhagen is coming off a loss to Umar. What's your take on this? Do you want to see Dvalishvili versus O'Malley 2 next? Michael Venom Page calls out Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. Although Michael Venom Page halted Sharabuddin Magomedov's rise up the middleweight rankings in his last fight, Venom still has his sights set on the welterweight division. Page agreed to move up to middleweight to face Sharabullet earlier this month and shocked many throughout the MMA world by recording a decision win. Since Magomedov was widely considered to be one of the middleweight division's rising commodities, many fans wondered if Page might stay at 185. But since that win, Page has said that he's still looking to make a run at welterweight, and in a recent appearance on the Overdogs podcast, MVP called for bouts with Kamaru Usman or Colby Covington.
There's a lot of good fights. Usman's a good fight. I'd love a Usman fight. Colby's a good fight, and I think the reason why I like the Colby fight is because obviously a lot of my thing is because keep him against strikers. No, I want people to see me against wrestlers as well and see that I can overcome these guys and beat these kind of guys as well. Because then after that, what else is there to be said?
These are interesting comments from Page for sure. But would either of these fights be a possibility? Given that Usman is currently ranked number 3 in the welterweight division, and because Page is ranked number 15, one would think the former champion and his camp wouldn't be interested. With Covington, however, things might be different. Chaos is coming off a loss to Joaquin Buckley and is dropped all the way to number 9 in the rankings. But what do you think? Could Usman and Covington be down to fight Page? And which bout would you rather see? Sean O'Malley called out for fight. Song Yadong's win at UFC Seattle likely didn't leave the masses buzzing. But if the UFC isn't interested in having him run it back with Henry Cejudo, the bantamweight's proposing a showdown with Sean O'Malley. Yadong faced the former bantamweight and flyweight champion in Saturday's main event, but the bout ended under unfortunate circumstances as Cejudo was unable to continue in round 3 after taking an eye poke in round 2. Since Yadong was ahead on the scorecards at that point, he was awarded the decision win. Immediately after the fight, Yadong and Cejudo said that they were down for a rematch, but when Dana White was asked about the possibility of doing that, he sounded less than enthused. When Yadong was informed of that during his post-fight presser, the Chinese fighter relayed this. So my goal is to be world champion, so whatever these guys give me, my goal is to fight a guy who is ranked above me. If not Henry, Sean O'Malley. Give me O'Malley, I can fight anytime. On paper, there's a lot to like with a fight between O'Malley and Yadong. especially from a stand-up perspective. But given that White has acknowledged a lot of fans are interested in seeing O'Malley fighting the champion, Merab again, it seems unlikely the UFC will go with Sugar fighting Song. Who do you want to see Yadong fight next? Magomed Ankalaev reacts to Alex Pereira training footage. Alex Pereira posted a video of him grappling with Glover Teixeira ahead of his fight with Magomed Ankalaev.
Yeah, say what you back.
Magomed saw the clip on X and reacted by saying, "I hope you're ready to do this for 25 minutes. Sean Strickland reacts to Bryce Mitchell footage. Bryce Mitchell and Sean Strickland recently hung out and seem to be buddies now. But recently, Strickland tried to educate Mitchell on why his flat earth theories are way out there. If you follow Mitchell, you know that he's all in on the flat earth conspiracy theory and that he can get pretty riled up while talking about it. What else is new, right? Well, recently, the featherweight contender shared another video in which he attempted to defend his flat earth takes.
Dude, I'm not stupid. Let me tell you what I mean. Here is a picture of the circle of the earth, supposedly, if you believe in a globe. And the red circle is the helicopter. When the helicopter ascends above the earth's surface, it now has a larger flight path around the earth, as in when the earth, the inside circle, the black circle, does one full rotation, the red circle, or the flight of the helicopter, actually has to cover more distance to get back to the same spot. That's what I meant, okay? If you don't understand geometry of spheres and circles, that's gonna go right over your head. But what I said makes perfect sense. And I'm actually a lot smarter than a lot of y'all think. Some of y'all can't even keep up with me. That's the sad part. This is basic geometry. Some of y'all might not be able to understand what I'm saying. But God bless you. And keep doing your own research, because there is no proof that the earth rotates.
Well, that prompted Strickland to post his own respectful but comprehensive rebuttal.
All right, Bryce. My man, dude, I want the earth to be flat. You're my boy. You're my dog. I want to ride with you, man. I want to ride with you. But I will explain why you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So, the atmosphere, it's matter. It's dense. It's not as dense as the ground, but it's dense. It's kind of like your God. You know, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. But man, I promise you, it's all around us. So, you got to look at the atmosphere like the ocean. The ocean is connected to the earth via gravity and inertia. So, whenever the earth is spinning, the atmosphere is spinning. So this is why planes and helicopters continue to spin with us. Now, theoretically, if you had a plane going in the opposite direction at a specific speed to cancel out the inertia and the atmosphere, then yes, a plane would 100% have to, adjust for the rotation of the earth. But this is why when you leave the atmosphere and you leave all the matter and the gravity and...
Now granted, you may not have been expecting to see Sean Strickland explaining physics when you clicked on this video today, but here we are. Flat Earth and science aside, following Gene Silva's finish of Melsik Baghdasaryan at UFC Seattle, the rising featherweight called out Mitchell. There's a guy that's been talking a lot of crap, Bryce Mitchell. Dana, put me in front of him and I'll do the job. That prompted Mitchell to fire this warning shot at Silva, as well as his nickname, Lord. There's only one Lord, and it ain't you, fool. You need a country whooping. It will humble you just right. Gene Silva reacted to the comments by saying, okay, but I'm gonna beat you until you see the earth is round. It'll be interesting to see if the UFC makes this fight a reality, but it wouldn't be too surprising if they do. Silva is 4-0 in the UFC and could certainly be tapped to fight a top 15 featherweight next. Mitchell is ranked number 13. Bryce Mitchell pulls out of fight. We reported a couple days ago that Bryce Mitchell was scheduled to grapple against Ilia Topuria at Karate Combat this week. Now, it was revealed that Bryce Mitchell pulled out of his grappling match. He said that he has a real fight being booked right now and wants to focus his time on that rather than a Karate Combat grappling match. Here's what Bryce had to say.
I want to let y'all know I'm pulling out of my grappling match on Friday. This is my first time announcing it. Karate Combat, don't even know yet. So I'm literally announcing it myself before I tell anybody. I don't want my words to get twisted, and I don't quite trust them with my words. So, yeah, I'm pulling out of the match. And reason being is the great news is I've got a big matchup coming up, big fight coming up. I don't know the exact details on the fight, but I'm just telling y'all something's coming up, and please be patient with me, okay? I'm being patient too. I want to fight too, and I can't wait for this next fight, and I'm prioritizing the fight over a grappling match. It's not worth it for me knowing I got a fight coming up now to do a grappling match on Friday.